Okay, let me, do you want Jay to call you now, or do you want to just talk to me right now? Okay, hold on.
Which one?
The Public Defender Service Corporation Board of Trustees regular meeting is now called to order, and I will ask the secretary to please call the roll.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Chief Justice F. Philip Carbolito.
I am present and I am logging on from the Guam Judicial Center in Hagåtña.
Presiding Judge Alberto C. Lamarena III.
I am present and I'm at the Guam Judicial Center.
Trustee Cynthia V. Acubi.
I am present and I am here located in my law office in Hagåtña, Guam. Thank you.
Trustee Donna Muña Canata.
She will join us in a few minutes.
Guam Bar President Jackie T. Terlahi.
And she is excused, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Kathy. So we do have a quorum and we're able to conduct our regular business. And due notice of the meeting has been duly issued, and we have the ads in our packet. And so the first item under old business is the financial status update, and I will recognize Mr. Mike Moreno.
Thank you, Your Honor, and good afternoon to all the trustees.
You're going to have to speak up, Mike, because you're a little further away from the microphone.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Public Defender Service Corporation had received its allotment, second allotment for February. We are running at 94%. Alternate Public Defender also received allotment, and they're running at 93%. As far as the domestic violence program is concerned, we are now using the funding from STOP 2019, which will carry us through June 2021. Next funding, the STOP 2020, is a work in progress. We are communicating with the governor's office to formalize the funding for from STOP 2020. And that's all the financials.
All right, and so any questions for Mr. Moreno regarding the financial status update regarding the public defender? And you also, that also applied to APD? I'm sorry, I may have missed that. Our allotments are current on schedule with APD, is that correct?
That is correct, and they're running at 93%.
Okay, all right. All right, thank you, Mr. Moreno. And the next item on the agenda, if there's no questions, is a report from the Executive Director of our Service Corporation, and Mr. Hattori, you are recognized, or Kathy.
Thank you, Chief Justice. So basically, we don't really have much to report. One of the programs we're working on, UpTrust, it's a client notification system that we're hoping will reduce failure to appears and the need for bench warrants. Should be fully integrated in the next day or two. It's a mainland company that has contracted with public defender firms across the country, and what they do is they take our court hearings, appointments, and other reminders out of our case management system, and they send it via text message, including WhatsApp. And from currently we're doing it manually, which means our poor secretaries have to input the information for each client. However, once we integrate with our case management system, it'll be supposedly seamless, and the notifications will go out at the end of each day to all our clients, as long as we have reliable cell phone numbers. The good thing is it also includes WhatsApp. We find that many of our clients might not have cell phone minutes, but they somehow all have working WhatsApp. So we're hoping that it'll reduce notice failures to appear for court hearings, as well as the need for bench warrants. So that's kind of that's a cool little program that we're starting. Other than that, we submitted our VBJA Sixth Amendment initiative article. I guess that's some 30 some page document. You guys can take your time to read it, and we'll have a presentation on that hopefully sometime in April with someone from the Center for Court Innovations, right? We're trying to set that up at the April board meeting. But other than that, I mean, trials are going on. I mean, we should really be proud of ourselves. Like, I found out from some colleagues that New York City hasn't had a trial since the start of the pandemic, and I think our system has had probably 12 to 15 by now. So everything seems to be rolling along. Our wheels of justice haven't stopped on Guam. Okay, that's about all I have.
What is the experiences with the virtual connectivity up at DOC? Is public defender continuing to have problems with being able to meet with clients up at DOC?
Well, so we meet on Saturdays. Like I would say the last 4 Saturdays I've met 3 to 4 clients each Saturday. But other than that, they'll let us use it like 8 or 8:30 in the morning. I think they just need more spaces or more portals. But
What about
yeah, we're working
what
with them.
about
And the
I'm sorry, go
other
ahead.
thing is that we were able to get our office on the vaccination priority list. So pretty much anyone who wanted to get vaccinated has been vaccinated. Some still need their second shots, but so we should be able to, comfortably go to visit our clients at the Department of Corrections as well.
That's great. What about the experiences with the continued virtual hearings with our Superior Court trial judges?
Honestly, those things have gone on remarkably well. They're very efficient. I think the attorneys are really happy with the way things have been going. We've been able to conduct change of pleas through Zoom and everything else. I think the only thing, obviously, is trials and substantive motions, but those don't really seem to need evidence. So I think we've been. I mean, maybe Annie and John would agree that things have been going really smoothly.
Anything to add on that, John? And then I'll ask Annie to report on her part of the agenda.
I think the virtual hearings have been terrific. And I mean, I think hopefully there are pieces of it that we can maintain even moving into the future, because the amount of client participation we've had, I think, has been great. We've had clients that have not had to take a full day off from work. You can see them just participating via Zoom in their car. So I think it's been very user friendly for our clients. And I'd be curious to see the statistics in failing to appear pre-COVID versus currently, because it just seems like we've had a lot of participation and been able to get an awful lot done, including changes of plea and hearings that have been able to resolve cases. Of course, trials and substantive things have needed to be in person, and I think everyone's a lot more comfortable doing that now that it's sort of been proven safe.
Yeah, that is my plan post-COVID, whenever should that ever occur. And I am fully on board with our virtual format. We put in place the infrastructure, and we just continue to improve in reference to its reliability. I'll let PJ speak for himself, but I fully see the convenience and just it allowing better access to our court services. The Supreme Court continues to be fully virtual. Our April and May calendar is going to continue to be fully virtual, and our appellate lawyers like the convenience of being able to argue from their home office and not having to come down and risk exposure. So that is working very well for our Supreme Court. Of course, it's a lot tougher for the Superior Court, as you mentioned, with criminal felony jury trials. But for other aspects, pre-trial and post-trial, I think it lends itself to better access to justice. What's your observation, presiding judge?
I concur with everyone and everything that has been said. I think these Zoom hearings have been terrific. As John said, a lot of defendants don't have to get off work. They just tell their boss, I'm going to call in for my court hearing. It takes only 10, 15, 20 minutes. Then they just go back to work. So it's also been not only being good for the defendants, but it's also been good for their employers. So they don't have to take the whole day off or half a day off. The only thing maybe is probation, since they have to be processed personally. But that's only the first time, and then they report as usual. They'll have very little contact with probation. Yeah, it's been the Zoom and the telephonic. It has to be desired because sometimes the connections are very bad, and the static is not very good. There's a lot of static, so there's a lot to be said about improving the telephone service. But the Zoom is terrific. Especially in my courtroom, about maybe 70%, 60% goes Zoom, 40% through telephone. And 35%, the 5% come in physically because they don't have either a telephone or a computer or to communicate, so they just come to the court. But it's been working well, and I'm really it's very good. We don't see as many defendants missing their meetings or their court appointments, court hearings.
Yeah, and for the court, just to update the Public Defender Service Corporation employees, our Route 4 temporary high capacity courtroom entering the final stages, of its completion, and hopefully we'll be up and running the first week in March, or we have all the equipment here in reference to setting up that temporary courtroom. And it's going to be the same size or comparable to the San Ramon courtroom, and so that will add another courtroom to our Supreme Court courtroom, the San Ramon temporary high capacity courtroom, and so we're just going to continue to try and add facilities so we can continue to chip away in terms of our felony backlog, and the 8th courtroom will, which is in our judicial center. We hope to start that sometime in March. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Annie Yale, and she will report on the APD. Annie, you are ready.
Thank you. I don't have that much more to report than what has already been said, Your Honor. We're still, conducting virtual hearings and telephonic hearings. I do have to comment, though, for Judge La Morena, he's been actually really good about getting phone numbers for us while our clients are on the phone or Zoom. He always goes, "What's your number? They're going to call you right now." He's really good about getting our numbers from our clients. But the thing about, you asked about DOC and their Zoom platform for us to meet. It's not, what I'm finding is that it's not necessarily their Zoom platform. It's a people problem. I will set up something on a Friday for a Saturday, and the person that we sent it to doesn't work on Saturday. So no one knows what's going on. I mean, that's just an issue we'll have to work through, but it's not the actual connectivity. So that's just a work in progress. Do you have the one issue I did have is we are doing trials. We are working through the issues with the different courts. As you know, the different Superior Court judges each have their own way of conducting their trials, and so we're just getting used to still all that, because some judges do it a certain way and compared to other judges. So we don't have an issue with that. If anything, it's with the individual judge that we need to figure out their what they expect from us, and so that hasn't really been a problem. And that's about it, Your Honor. As far as connecting with our clients, from before, I've already mentioned that APD we actually do use WhatsApp, and we have our clients connect with us on the WhatsApp, which surprisingly is so much. I can't believe how many clients have WhatsApp versus anything else that we've used. So we'll have all our, I think by the next the next board meeting, we'll have we're working on our budget, at least to present, so that when we go in front of we start having our working meetings with the legislature, we'll have something available. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Annie. Any questions for our managing attorney for APD? There being none, I'd like to recognize that Trustee Donna Canata has joined us, and thank you. And we now have 4 members of the Board of Trustees. So the next item under old business is our Elder Justice Seniors Program. And I thought I saw someone from our Public Health Social Services. Steve, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can properly recognize whoever is going to report on this.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll allow Kathleen Moylan to present on that.
Okay.
Your Honor, before Kathleen goes on with the report from the Elder Justice Center, I have 2 things I want to bring up. If we can improve the minutes after the old business, but also under the executive director's report, we wanted to add that we work with DOC. Our numbers and APD's numbers are toll free. That happened in January. We didn't have a January meeting, so we want to report that out to the board, that the numbers coming in from our clients from DOC are all toll free. It's a trial period with PayTel Guam, and that we're also working with DOC to provide a private meeting room for our clients to meet with our attorneys via Zoom or whatever platform we're able to put together with DOC. So rather than have our attorneys go to DOC, we have worked to deal with DOC. So we're just finalizing that. We hope that maybe we can have something to report to you folks in our March meeting or April meeting in terms of the progress we make with DOC, so that our attorneys have that meeting room for our clients.
Thank you, Kathy, and thank you for reminding me about the approval of the minutes. So let's go back to 4 of the agenda, approval of the minutes for the regular scheduled meeting of December 22nd. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting subject to correction.
I'll second, Your Honors.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. And any discussion on the minutes? There being none, any objection to the approval of the minutes? There being no objection, it is unanimously adopted. And we'll move back down to our Elder Justice Center program. And I will recognize Kathleen, if you are going to report on this. You're going to have to unmute yourself. Famous last words.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Your Honor and board members. We just want to provide some details about some of the efforts we've made for the past months. We've had several meetings and discussions with the Division of Senior Citizens to address our office setup, the wait list, eligibility, our reporting forms, our timelines, our staff, our program partners, and some of the outreach events. With regards to office setup, again, we are going to be located at Castle Mall together with the Division of Senior Citizens. DSC is setting up our phones. We anticipate installation and hope this will be completed by March 5th. We participated in DSC's orientation for its Get Care system, which is part of the reporting system, and we completed this on February 19th. With regards to their wait list, the division is finalizing the wait list as well as the corresponding files to transfer to us. We are anticipating that this will be completed and transferred to us on March 5th. With regards to eligibility, the division continues to communicate with its Region 9 office on our financial eligibility guidelines. This is pending, but we're hopeful this will be resolved and approved very soon. The issue here involves means testing. Ms. Charlene Nicholas is here with us, and so we can have her talk about that. I'll go on to the other items and then we can go back to that. With regards to our reporting forms, we did receive most of the reporting forms. We hope that the remaining will be provided soon. We're anticipating, for purposes of starting up and our soft opening, we're hoping to be there March 5th at DSC, hoping that the phones will be installed and the wait list will be transferred to us. We plan to be there on site on March 8th with a soft opening to occur on March 15th if all goes well. For purposes of our staff, we're happy to report that Kathy Focus, we are planning to bring her on board as one of our attorneys together with David Highsmith. I will be the interim special projects coordinator and Stacy Cruz will be our legal secretary. Our partners do include, and we're working and communicating with them, with Guam Legal Services, as well as Micronesian Legal Services. We are already scheduled to conduct training. It's scheduled for February 24th, tomorrow, as well as the 27th. And this is being hosted by the Geriatrics Workforce Enhancement Program. We will be highlighting the scope of our services under the Elder Justice Center pilot program. And Dave will be talking about some issues regarding powers of attorney, the wills, and guardianship over the person. Also, our staff participated in the PJC's training on elder abuse. And so we appreciated that. That was really helpful. And also, we are also working to comprise our advisory council. And so that is a summary of our efforts. Ms. Charlene is also here if she'd like to add some comments.
Charlene, please do so.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity to join, and thank you for the training on the Elder Justice Center. That was appreciated. So I just want to bring that up. It was a good 2-day training. We also extended it to our aging network, our case managers, and also our caregiver program and our adult daycare. So very useful, and we hope we can be part of the network to share with us that so we can extend it to those who are in the aging area. But going back to the use of the means testing, on January 27th, I did write to Region 9. We do have a program, a Region 9 administrator specific to the means testing. So on the first question, in terms of the response, the poverty guidelines to find out about income to help understand the client's financial circumstance is fine. The income question must be optional and asked only to help deliver adequate services, such as determining if a client is low income and could benefit from SNAP or Medicare Savings Program. In terms of 3B, which is this program, legal services cannot be means tested. The poverty guidelines cannot be used to determine whether the older adult is eligible to receive services. A legal assistance provider may not require an older person to disclose information about income or resources as a condition for providing legal assistance services under this part. The MOU has helpful detail on the prioritization of services. And Section 3, if this is what is used to determine whether the program can take on the client, and the income questions are used as part of the intake to determine what kind of legal assistance is helpful, then it should be okay. And so this was shared with our staff assigned. This was back on January 27th. So the MOU does have a prioritization of services, and that's on page 20 that can be pulled. Our intent, of course, in line with the Older Americans Act, is to target for those in greatest need and greatest social economic areas, so that we can continue once the files are transferred as part of the intake review. So I hope this is helpful, and if more is needed, please also let us know so we can address the concerns.
That's very exciting to hear that the pilot program is well on its way. And it's just around the corner before the center start providing services. I noticed that there was a small ad in the Pacific Daily News, which picked up a lot of what Kathleen had to say regarding the upcoming training. And so we're getting the word out, and I'm looking forward to seeing the response. And I think the staff is now that the staff will be on board shortly, we can prepare to provide the much needed services that we are providing under the Public Defender Service Corporation. And I thank Mr. Hattori for bringing this and being persevering in reference to bringing this program to realization. And so we'll see how it all pans out, and we're hoping that we reach as many elder people as possible. Any questions, comments?
Yes.
Kathleen or Charlene, is that
Your
you too?
Yeah, I just had a comment. So I understand from Miss Kathleen that there are going to be two attorneys, Attorney Highsmith and Attorney Focus, that will be helping with the program. That's correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. No, the reason
And
I
so
ask is
sorry.
the reason why I'm not questioning that. The reason why is I was under the impression that Attorney Focus or Attorney Seguenza was with a federal district court through the bankruptcy program. So I wasn't aware that now she is now transitioning to this program, and this is going to be a full-time position for her here.
Well, so actually, we're funded for 64 hours a pay period, and Ms. Focus will be working 40 hours a pay period. So she'll be working part-time with us, and then she's cleared it with her current boss to work the remaining time there.
Okay.
And then we're gonna bill Dave for a couple days a week using the grant.
Okay.
So he'll be the grant will be used to offset some of his pay. So we'll have attorneys there at least 4 days a week.
Okay. I wasn't aware that she was also going to be employed with the program. So thank you.
Is there any
Steve,
plan? I'm sorry, go ahead, PJ.
Steve, so how much attorney time will be expended in this center?
Well, so Dave Highsmith, who's locally funded, we're gonna use the grant to pay him for 2 days a week. Well, basically 24 hours a pay period, and then Ms. Focus will be paid 40 hours a pay period. So we're looking at, really, it's gonna be almost about 64 hours between the two of them every pay period.
That's 2 weeks
Okay.
pay period. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's 80 hours. So and that's all in reference to being at the office, meeting clientele, or is there preparation time that goes in to that?
Yeah. Basically,
how is this working?
so we're anticipating helping at least 30 Mononco a month, and so we believe that those between the two of them working basically 120 hours a month would be able to definitely meet that need. And we have another position, a project coordinator right now. Kathy Moylan's wearing an extra hat. Thank you, Kathy. But there's a Janine Cordero who had applied, but she won't start until March 15th.
Is there going to be any type of ribbon cutting or some ceremony to mark the event in reference to kicking off our Elder Law Center?
Yeah. I mean, we're hoping to do a soft opening. We are discussing that because I know Senior Citizen Month is in May, and we're having that debate about if is May too late to have a grand opening, to have it coincide with Senior Citizen Month. But we're looking at definitely a soft opening, but we want to have some sort of ceremony to kick it off and, inform the public that it's now available. So if you guys have any ideas about that, whether we should have the grand opening May 1st and then just to, to coincide with Law Month as well. But that's a senior citizen month.
Well, why don't you put together a plan and bring it to the board in the March meeting, and we can take a look at it. We do want to celebrate the significance of the opening of the services to be provided under the Public Defender Service Corporation, and we should plan for some event.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take care of that. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll put that on the agenda, Kathy, for the next board meeting, and in reference to how we're going to just recognize the milestone of opening up the Elder Justice Center. Okay, so if there's no further questions or reports on this topic, we'll move down to new business. And although Mr. Hattori had touched on the VGA's report, I'm just going to ask you again to just summarize where we're at with this report, and maybe a brief background, and what are the next steps in reference to the report.
Okay, so basically this is a report generated by the BJA through that Sixth Amendment technical assistant grant we received to develop a strategic plan. We've actually developed the strategic plan, but we've been working on different aspects of it. Like we have performance standards for juvenile and adult criminal cases that we're pretty much wrapping up. The pandemic kind of slowed that down. Part of it was working on increasing client contact. So we've started that with UpTrust. And I know there are other parts of the plan that I'm hoping that you guys can get to read the report. We actually submitted it to you guys for informational purposes, and we're planning on having the BJA service provider from the Center for Court Innovations present hopefully at the April board meeting, if we can make time for her. And then we'll outline our future goals on what the next action steps we'll be taking as it relates to our strategic plan. But this was like a 3-year plan, and we've had, I would say, 3 or 4 technical advisors come to Guam, and we couldn't really have done it without the cooperation and help of the judiciary. They did speak with many judges, justices, and as well as the AG's office. So we're hoping that it'll help us improve our services and really target our problem areas. And so we hope you all get a chance to review it, and we anticipate you guys will have questions after that, and hopefully we can do that at the April board meeting.
All right. Thank you, Steve, for that. Any questions on the BJA report? And we'll put this on the agenda as Mr. Hattori has indicated for the April board meeting, and the plan is to have someone connected with the team that prepared the report to report on this virtually, and that would be a good time for us to then get up to speed in the contents of the report. So there are no items under executive session. Is there any public discussion? Any member of the public? JT, are we connected to the lobby area of the Public Defender's office?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
And no one is present?
No one is present.
Okay, all right. So there's no public discussion. And our next meeting date is on Tuesday, March 23rd. We are going to start our discussion on the budget and hopefully complete it. And so there are no other items on the agenda. And at this time, I will entertain, this is the quickest meeting we've had to date. And so,
I'll move, Your Honors. And
I'm not complaining.
Second.
And Trustee
Okay.
Canata, I'll move to adjourn the meeting to the next meeting on March 23rd.
Okay, it's been moved by Trustee Ekubi and seconded by
Donna.
Donna Munya Canata. And there being no objection, the motion is unanimously adopted. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll see you all in the next time you come to the judiciary or the next board meeting. All right. Goodbye.
Thank you, Your Honors, and
Thank
everyone.
you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
The email regarding the annual report. You can-
Since I've been outside of the US,
Okay.
right, they need to figure out